Jan Nepomniachtchi, aka Nepo, is currently one of the favorites to win the Candidates 2024. He has shown incredible results in the two previous Candidates tournaments, winning both of them, and now he's on a roll in this year's Candidates. How does he manage to play so well in this event, winning so many games against top GMs? The answer is by putting his opponents in time pressure, and of course by playing top-notch chess. Here are some examples from his games from this year's event and the previous ones. This is the game against Vidit Gujrathi from this year's Candidates, round 4. On move 12 in the Berlin endgame, probably one of the most well-researched variations in all chess that occurs after some exchanges in the Berlin defense, Jan unleashed a novelty, the move knight to h2. Obviously, it's something prepared by Jan and his team. Vidit seemed to not remember how you're supposed to react here and spent more than 35 minutes on his next move, pawn to g5. It's not the best move according to the computer, but still, the position is balanced and around equal. The most serious mistake by Vidit was not that he made that move, but that he took so long to make it. In his turn, Nepo is not taking his foot off the gas. He makes his next several moves very fast, and by move 17 he has spent just 10 minutes out of 2 allotted hours, while Vidit spent 57 minutes, almost half of his time. You know, as a chess player myself, I'm a candidate master, I myself often struggle with the decision, how much time to spend on a given move. My grandmaster coach, Farukh Amanatov, told me it's all about experience and intuition. By playing more games, you start realizing when a crucial moment in a game occurs. Only at such crucial moments is it wise to spend 10, 15 or even more minutes on a move, going into deep calculation. Otherwise, you shouldn't spend more than several minutes on a move in non-critical positions. I'm sure Jan's opponents know this and know that it's bad to spend too much time on every move. But it seems that they are afraid of him when he's moving fast like a lightning. He's an intuitive player, he's very talented, and he can usually afford doing that. He blitzes out his moves, and opponents start double-checking and questioning themselves and being hesitant, even about making the obvious moves. And this leads to bad time management. In the Nepo-Vidit game, the position on the screen is still close to equal, with a slight edge for white. But Vidit still has spent half his time on making just 16 moves, and the first 12 moves he was in his prep and didn't have to think. So in reality, he spent a whole hour on just 5 moves, and he still has to make it to move 40 until more time gets added to his clock. So he has around another hour for 23 moves. That doesn't look good. By move 20, as you can see, Vidit has just 40 minutes left against 1.5 hours for Nepo. Here, Jan could have afforded some longer thinking time for his moves, but he knows that he can use his time advantage and continues moving faster than Vidit, even though he has plenty of time. Now, by move 28, Vidit has just 16 minutes left for 12 moves, a little bit more than a minute per move, and Nepo still has more than an hour. And the position gets crazy tactical very fast. This is exactly the position where Vidit should have spent some time and come up with an important defensive resource, pawn to h4 with a check, deflecting the white knight from g6 and opening up the h-file for the black rook with good counterplay. In a post-match interview, Nepo mentioned that this move is an interesting attempt for black, and that the computer thinks that it's the only way for black not to get into a very bad position. But here, Vidit spends just 1 minute and makes a much more obvious move, moving the rook from h8 to d8. I'm sure if he spent 15 minutes here, he would have looked deeper and realized that his position is not good and that he has to go for some drastic measures. Then he definitely would have considered h4 and probably would have gone for it. But he had no time. He moved his rook to d8 and the computer already thinks the position is close to lost for black. Apparently here, Jan also realized that he's almost winning and started spending some time. Now, he no longer has to press on the clock. He can also win on the board, so it's wise to spend some time to find the best moves and not give the opponent any chances. So, this is what happens next. We get to move 36. Jan didn't play like a computer, but he still made some great moves, advancing his pawn, and black's rook on b3 is out of play. In practice, it's very difficult to defend this, especially with 6 minutes left. Here, Vidit makes two final mistakes, king c6 and bishop e8. But it's hard to blame him. The best option for him here was to give up the knight for the e7 pawn, but I'm sure nepomniachtchi would have won in that case as well, with an extra piece, with a great position, with time advantage. In reality, the game finished after just 7 more moves. White will take the black bishop with its rook and then make a new queen, and there's no stopping that. Vidit collapsed very fast under time pressure. And this is a common scenario for games by Nepo. For example, in the previous candidates, he won a game against Richard Rapport with black. And in the final position, he had 2 hours on the clock, more than he had when they started. Obviously, this is due to some time added on move 40, but still, it's really impressive. It was a great game as well. I recommend you analyze it. So, this is what you are facing when you play against Nepo at his peak. Do you think he will win the third candidates in a row? Who are you rooting for? Write your opinion in the comments section. I'd like to finish with a quote by Grandmaster Alexander Grishuk, who recently said about Nepo in Russian the following. I've translated it for you. When facing him, his opponents play worse than usually. And making your opponent play poorly is a real art and is probably even more difficult than playing well yourself. See you.